Thomas Pittz. I'm an associate professor at the University of Tampa and in the Loth Center of Entrepreneurship in the Sykes College of Business. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I've been there for about 7 or 8 years. I'm also the president and chair of the board for the United States Association of Small Business and Entrepreneurship. So I do a lot of work with small business and entrepreneurship. But I also teach project management, which we'll talk about more here. And best of all, I am a New Mexico State PhD. Graduated from the PhD program in strategy in 2015, I believe. It's a micro-credentialing course that's meant to be completed in about 6 weeks. It has 4 main modules, which I can talk about here in at least in an outline overview. And importantly, it satisfies, for those of you who are interested in project management as a career, it satisfies the 35 hours of training required to sit for the project management professional certification, which is a big deal in the field. Briefly, for the course itself, we don't work with software because there's many of them out there and software changes. But what I teach you in this course is the foundations that build the software is built upon. So by the time you're finished with this course, not only will you have the requisite hours for sitting for the exam, but you'll also have a really strong foundational knowledge of project management so that anything that the software does, you'll be able to troubleshoot. The 4 modules, so let me briefly talk about that. The first module, we go over how to select a project. We go over a lot of the stages in project management, the politics and organizational design around project management. How do we develop a project? And then what are its main requirements in terms of contracts and sponsors and that sort of thing. The second module is where we get into the planning of the planning stages of the project. We talk about things like the work breakdown structure. We talk about HERT charts, Gantt charts, cumulative cost curves. Yeah, it's hard, easy for you to say, right? And importantly, we go over the network analysis and a critical path analysis, which is really the foundation of project management. And then we get into expected monetary value and some budgeting versus actual calculations. This is where I guess the second module is probably the meat of it, where we get into the math, if you will, which can intimidate some folks, but we do it, or in this project management micro-credential, in a really straightforward, easy kind of going approach where you have plenty of exercises to practice with before we sort of assess your knowledge. Benefits are really, they're both sort of for your professional career and also are sort of, I'm trying to think of the best way to frame that. But they're multifaceted, I guess is what, regardless of the certification hours that you need, project management's all about organization, right? So it's about capturing, we're talking about big projects here, and I can use some examples that we go through in the course, but massive projects with a lot of different details to track, people, stakeholders, budgets that all need to be, technical requirements that all need to be brought together. So being organized is probably the key aspect of a successful project manager. So by training in it, you will become more organized, which will carry through for your life, for in whatever job. Even if project management isn't your ultimate career, those organizational skills will be really powerful. It also teaches you to be an effective kind of multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary team leader, because you're working with folks in IT and suppliers and HR and whatever. Based on the project, the beauty of a project manager is you're working with folks across an organization, even sometimes outside of the organization. So it trains you to manage and supervise folks effectively across. You'll become, if you choose to go into project management as a field, the certificate that these hours will get you prepared for the exam for, we've seen enough data now that it's a 20% bump in pay. So project management certified folks who have the PMP, the project management professional certification, earn 20% more than non-certified project managers. And finally, there's a really strong professional network that goes along with project management. There's conferences, there's continuing education. There's a lot of ways to get connected. It's a big community, but it's also a small community in the sense that once you get into it, and once you develop your skills and meet people, you'll have a lot of opportunities throughout your career. The great career path, if you enjoy the big picture, if you enjoy being part of the strategic challenges of an organization, if you enjoy being challenged on a day-to-day basis in your job, project management is a great opportunity for you. It is a really, really visible role within an organization. If you get put on a strategic project for an organization, the spotlight will be on you. It's terrific for career advancement. And I would encourage everyone to consider this micro-credential if you're interested at all in learning more.